I'd say that kind of starts with a foundation set, which is what does success mean to me? And that's been a moving target. I think one of the most important things to me where I stand in my now today is my 13th anniversary as a business owner. It's looking back and recognizing that defining success for myself was one of the most important pieces. That in the early stages when I was 25 and I started my credit card processing company, which is my first venture, it's the one you referenced that grew. We did not reference this, but through much tumult up and down, we had two embezzlements. We had a lot of back to zeros. It was not a simple and straightforward journey as it sounds in a beautifully, depicted bio. But back then, I was really chasing other people's definitions of success. I really let the metrics that sort of society and other entrepreneurs told me were what that looked like be the things that I chased. And I really kind of went onto autopilot where I thought, okay, more customers, more revenue, more headcount, more press mentions, more fill in the blank. And every time I'd hit those metrics, I would feel really empty. And I was like, okay, not only does this not feel the way that I hoped it would feel, but suddenly what was the ceiling to reach became the floor off of which to start building something again. And as I was going through the process, I kept thinking, well, also, what is the trade off here? I keep saying I value certain things like, my three highest values are freedom, growth and learning, and connection. And I was like, where are these even showing up in my life at all? And they were just being shoved into the nooks and crannies that were left from the marginal time that I allowed to do those things versus putting everything I had into the hustle, grind, burnout culture of building a business. And I just hope someone needs to hear this, that it just wasn't worth it. And so while I learned so much in that business and I don't regret it at all, and I'm glad I had the experiences that I had, it completely shifted the way in which I looked at success going into the future. Whereas now success for me is time freedom. It's how do I spend my time in the business and outside of the business? How do I make sure that the business is not running me, that I'm running the business? How do I make sure I'm using my gifts full out in the world, full throttle? And to me, those are some of the baseline metrics of success. And then ultimately just back channeling everything into two things. One, it's those three values that I mentioned to make sure that my decisions are matching up. And two, my entire core philosophy has become design your life, which is caveated with define success for yourself, because that means everything is reverse engineering into that life of your own design. Two is build the business to fund it, meaning know what the why is and where you're going. And when you do that, you then say, okay, what does that mean for this business? What are the time allocations I'm willing to give to it? What's the impact that I'm trying to make? And how do I reverse engineer everything about this business to create the offset of the income and the time allocations that I need to actually live that life and make the impact that I want in the business? And then the third sort of magical piece is build the network to support it. And for me, that's all about, people hold the keys to the doors that we want to open. And working independently is nowhere near as fun, and it's going to be a hell of a lot harder. And so I'm not saying you have to have a team or you have to have business partners. I'm not saying any of that, but to invite in the right relationships and build the right network to make it so much more fun and make those opportunities ones that show up at your doorstep because people are saying your name in rooms or they're willing to make an introduction for you or any of the number of things that can come from that. That is really where sort of success has moved for me. And then helping other people along on that path too is such a big part of networking. It's about that transfer of what can I do for you? How can I really help support you on your journey? And that is really what it's about for me now.